Welcome, peeps. Welcome. This is part 2 of building the Phoenix. It's CNC routing out the fins. Actually, not the fins we're using, but it's one just like it. And so we'll watch this if you want to see it. If not, skip over it and go to the next one. Those holy Phoenix pins, whatever they call it. And I use this little offline controller. The file's already loaded on the thing. I just got to find the center of this board. And it is a 12 by 12 by 6.35 millimeters. Supposedly, it's not quite though, as I can tell. Already it's a little shy, so the halfway mark is here. We come up here. Right line. The center point can be right about 6 by 6 corner to top to bottom. And that's what I told the easel that it was going to be. These clamps, I hope, can stay out of the way. Alright, so anybody that's used the CNC machine can see clearly where I made a mistake here. I marked the center of the board and then pushed it back beyond the limits of the machine. So when I start cutting the last fin, it hits the limit switches and stops, and so then I have to put it back forward where it should have been in the first place and cut the last fin. That's the important part about marking your center, if that's where you're going to start, so you can go back and find it no matter where the piece of wood is placed. These clamps are they're good, I guess, if this piece was smaller, but when you're trying to cut a piece that's almost as deep as the limits of the machine, you can get in trouble. And when I pushed it back, well, that was a mistake I made, and it was easily fixable. If something happens, I have to stop it for some reason. I got the center mark. I can always go back to the center mark if I'm extremely accurate with it, or don't wind up cutting it out. I always find it again with a ruler. So we got her down on the board, and these clamps have got a pretty good hold on it. So the next thing we're going to do is bring this. I already got the bit in there I'm going to use. Just bring that over to the center, set the homes, and set the probe height. Okay, I'll keep turning my head away from the microphone and the camera, so I'm going to go ahead and just narrate this part of it so that you can understand what I'm saying. What I'm messing with now is a little remote control or local controller that allows you to run the machine without the computer. I've since stopped using that. The cable on it is short, the way you have to place the power supply or controller board assembly, and it makes it awkward to use it with your arms stretched out further than my vision can see. And I was puny last night, so I got a little bit of a sore throat. You just have to excuse me today, please. So what I'm doing now is trying to bring the thing up to the dot I made up halfway of the board, and that would be the starting point for the CNC cutting, so it knows where everything is in relation to that center mark. But since I've started using the computer and I'm trying to think of the name of the program, Candle, I guess it is, you can set that as like a safe position. So from home, which where the machine was at, You just hit safe position and it will run up very close to it, then fine tune it the last few halves of a millimeter. And that works so much better. And the computer, you ain't got to twiddle around with something that's too far away. The people should have either made a longer cable or they should have put that interface junction point on the front of the machine instead of the back of it. And the reason I call it the front of the machine, because that's where the stop switch is. So if it was all the way at the back, you'd have to reach and get it. So then Candle has its own stop switch on the computer. So I recommend that's freeware. It's easy to find and easy to use. And it just takes the computer and sends the coordinates to the CNC as it's running. So you say I'm trying to find from looking at it at an angle instead of straight above it, I'm trying to make sure it's right on it, because I'm worried about the back limits, which I should be, because as it goes back and cuts the third fin, it's going to hit the back limit switch and just stop. So, like I said, that's easy to recover from. And what I'm doing now is writing down the coordinates, the actual coordinates where the machine is, so that if I need those, I could also have them. This kind of, when you're using this little remote interface, it's important. On the computer, it's not. And these clamps are good. I mean, they really get a hold of it, but as you can see, the front ones are not really attached to the board the way they should be. And if I moved like this front right one, if I moved it, turned it around, it would be in the way of this square piece that's behind the cutting bit, and it would crash into it. Now, I was really cheat a lot of times and just drill 4 holes into the wasteboard and the piece I'm working on and put in very small little screws right in the corner, and they work good too, especially the thicker the material is, the better they work. Now, now the important step of finding the Z mark. You take a measurement of this black thing that's laying there, and it knows how high it is, and so it'll bring the bit down to it just touches it, and then subtract the amount that you told it that Z detector was, and it knows exactly where the surface of the material is when it starts its cut. Good machines, really. This particular machine will take a full-size router, well, a small full-size router, a regular router, and that's what you see over here to the far right is a clamp that would hold that router in place. I don't plan on doing aluminum or really having any need for it. At least the motor on this one's a 300-watt motor, so it's definitely not got any problem cutting plywood and materials such as that. All right, well, we'll go with a little bit of noise, and then I'll turn the noise down, and then we'll go to some music to see the rest of it. And I cut out a bunch of it. Hopefully it won't bore you to death. Okay, I'm back. Part 2, worse than ever, right? The music's really enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll continue the series the next time with part 3, which will be back more to the building. Thanks for stopping by and looking. See you next time. Take care.